Since ancient times, prophets and sacred texts have warned about a period of great trials. But what if 2025 is the year when these predictions finally come true? Signs are already beginning to appear around the world, and many of these prophecies are linked to events that could change the course of humanity forever. Among these revelations, one of the most enigmatic is the prophecy of Saint Malachi, which supposedly predicted the succession of all the popes up to the last one, the one who would witness the end of the Church as we know it. His words, kept secret by the Catholic Church for centuries, state that after Benedict XVI, there would be only one last pontiff. And now, with Francis occupying that position, many are asking, will he be the last pope? Saint Malachi, an Irish bishop from the 12th century, received visions about each future pope, recording his messages in a list of 112 mysterious mottos. What is most frightening is that the prediction for the 112th pope indicates times of tribulation, persecution of the Church, and a cataclysmic event. He describes that during this period, a leader named Peter, the Roman, would guide the faithful while the city of the Seven Hills, Rome, would be destroyed. This vision has direct connections with the book of Revelation, which mentions the fall of a great city known as Babylon, and its destruction at the end of times. Could Rome be that city? Moreover, the prophecy suggests that the final pope will be the one who supports the rise of the Antichrist, becoming the false prophet who will deceive the nations. Throughout history, many predictions have been seen as exaggerated or mere coincidences. But in the face of the crises that the Catholic Church is experiencing today, internal scandals, theological divisions, and an increase in religious persecution, it is hard to ignore that this prophecy may be closer to reality than ever. If the prophecy is true, what comes next? Is the world about to witness events that will change everything? Stay with us as we explore the 10 most impactful prophecies that could come true in 2025 and what they mean for our future. The year 2025 has been pointed out as a period of great trials, both by ancient prophets and by the scriptures. Signs of change and turmoil seem increasingly evident. Would we be approaching the fulfillment of old predictions? Now we explore 10 prophecies that may be about to come true. One of the most enigmatic prophecies of the Catholic Church comes from Saint Malachi, a 12th century Irish bishop, who is said to have received visions about the future of the popes. His list describes 112 pontiffs, ranging from Celestine II to the last pope, whom he called Peter the Roman. According to this prediction, after Francis's reign, the Church would face its greatest tribulation and the destruction of the city of Rome. What makes this prophecy even more intriguing is that, so far, 111 of the popes described by Saint Malachi have already taken the throne of Peter, with Francis being the 112th. Many wonder if we are truly facing the last leader of the Church before the beginning of a new era of crises and purification. The Bible reinforces this idea in Revelation 17, where it mentions the judgment on the great city that sits on 7 hills, identified by many as Rome. Nostradamus' predictions for the British monarchy also generate debate. The French astrologer predicted that a king of the islands would be forced to leave his throne and be replaced by someone unexpected. With the recent news that King Charles III is facing health issues, speculation arises about a possible abdication. Curiously, Nostradamus also mentioned a successor without the mark of a king. This has led some to believe that Prince Harry, despite his renunciation of royal duties, could somehow return to the line of succession. While all of this remains in the realm of speculation, the British monarchy finds itself in a moment of uncertainty, and the future of the crown may be more unstable than one might imagine. Jesus warned in Matthew 24 verse 22 that if the days of tribulation were not shortened, no life would survive. This passage has been interpreted as a prediction of the danger humanity poses to itself, especially with the advancement of nuclear weapons and global conflicts. In the last 50 years, the threat of total destruction has become a reality with the growth of nuclear powers. In the beginning, only the United States and the Soviet Union possessed these weapons. Over time, France, China, and other countries also joined the nuclear club, increasing the risk of a conflict of unimaginable proportions. While some believe that this prophecy is a warning about imminent wars, others see it as a call for redemption. The Bible promises that, before the final collapse, God will intervene to restore order. But the big question remains: will humanity be able to avoid its own destiny, or have we already passed the point of no return? The world is on the brink of events that will challenge humanity in ways never seen before. With the advancement of technology and the increase in geopolitical tensions, the threat of a major global conflict becomes increasingly real. Currently, at least 8 nations possess nuclear arsenals, and the number is only growing, intensifying the risks of a devastating war. Russia and China are demonstrating military power more aggressively, rekindling fears of a new Cold War. However, for Christians, there is an unwavering certainty: Jesus Christ will intervene before humanity reaches its total destruction. The prophecies indicate that before the end, the world will experience unprecedented turmoil. Nostradamus predicted that in 2025, we will see a significant increase in natural disasters, further exacerbating the already existing crises. He mentioned maritime conflicts, political problems, humanitarian collapses, and an unparalleled climate crisis. In his book Prophecies, published in 1555, Nostradamus wrote, "The heated land will become even hotter, and soon after, a great flood will occur." Many scholars believe that this prediction may be coming true, given the alarming rise in global temperatures and the increase in extreme weather events. Wildfires spread on a large scale, hurricanes and storms intensify in strength, and phenomena like El Niño drastically alter weather patterns. The Bible also mentions an event of purification by fire. In 2 Peter 3 verse 10, it is written, "The day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a great roar, the elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth with everything in it will be burned up." Although it does not directly speak about climate change, the scriptures warn that the earth will go through a period of great destruction before being renewed. This raises a profound question: to what extent should we try to save a planet destined for divine transformation? The U.S. Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has already warned that there is a 99% chance that 2025 will be among the 5 hottest years in history. This, combined with extreme phenomena such as intense snowstorms in North America, volcanic eruptions in Iceland, and devastating fires in Asia, confirms that the world is heading towards increasingly difficult times. Would we be witnessing the beginning of the purification predicted for centuries? What do these signs indicate for the future of humanity? Over the centuries, many prophecies seemed impossible to fulfill, but time has shown that all the pieces fall into place at the right moment. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 marked a turning point in the fulfillment of the scriptures. Similarly, the development of the hydrogen bomb in the 1950s brought with it the threat of mass destruction, something previously unimaginable. Today, technology and global events make the fulfillment of ancient predictions even more plausible. This leads us to an inevitable reflection. Are we living in the generation that will witness the prophetic conclusion? In Luke 21 verse 28, Jesus Christ declared, "Now when these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is near." If the signs multiply before our eyes, perhaps we are closer to the end of times than we imagine. Michel de Notre Dame, known as Nostradamus, predicted many historical events with impressive accuracy. One of his most intriguing visions mentions a celestial fire descending upon a large royal building, coinciding with a blackout on Mars. His mysterious words still intrigue scholars, and with the growing space exploration, his vision seems to gain new interpretations. Interestingly, the animated series The Simpsons also made surprising predictions about Mars. In the episode The Marjan Chronicles, released in 2016, the Simpson family participates in a project that takes them to Mars, suggesting that humans might be able to colonize the planet around 2051. While many dismiss such predictions as mere speculation, one name stands out in this scenario: Elon Musk. The visionary billionaire has declared his goal of colonizing Mars, making humanity an interplanetary civilization. His company, SpaceX, invests billions in the development of reusable rockets, a technology essential for making crewed missions feasible. Musk has already stated that the only way to make the colonization of Mars feasible is by making launches accessible and frequent. If everything goes as planned, the first humans could set foot on the red planet as early as the 2030s. But what did Nostradamus mean by the blackout of Mars? Could this indicate technological failures in space systems, or an unknown cosmic event? With the advances in space exploration, the possibility that ancient prophets foresaw the future of humanity becomes increasingly intriguing. Elon Musk has ambitious plans for the future of humanity, predicting that by 2050, 1 million people will be able to live on Mars. With the development of his Starship, the billionaire believes that the colonization of the red planet is closer than ever. The idea of interplanetary flights, which once belonged only to science fiction, could become a reality in the coming decades. Musk's vision aligns with Nostradamus's astonishing predictions, and even with biblical references suggesting a future beyond Earth. The Simpsons, known for their accurate predictions, also aired an episode where humans live on Mars in 2051. Would it be mere coincidence, or a portent that our destiny is truly among the stars? This relentless search for the unknown raises profound questions. What are we really looking for? Do we just want to explore? Or are we trying to find answers about our origins? While science advances in space exploration, many ignore that the Bible already points to an extraordinary future. In Revelation, it is written that God will create new heavens and a new earth, a place where humanity can live in glory. Meanwhile, on Earth, scientific advances can transform the reality of millions. The United Kingdom has funded research for a revolutionary cancer treatment using DNA vaccines. This development could represent a major leap in medicine, bringing hope to thousands of patients around the world. However, as we look to the future, we cannot ignore the events unfolding before our eyes. The global scenario is becoming increasingly unstable, and prophecies indicate that Jerusalem will be the epicenter of great conflicts before the return of Christ. In Luke 21, Jesus warned that when Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, it would be a sign that difficult times are near. With each new scientific discovery, with each technological advancement, the world seems to be approaching a decisive point. The desire to conquer Mars, cure diseases, and redefine the future of humanity may be a reflection of the need for something greater. But are we really prepared for what is to come? The city of Jerusalem has always been an epicenter of disputes and conflicts throughout history. But what few understand is the prophetic significance of this region and its role in the final events. More than 500 years before the first coming of Christ, the prophet Zechariah was already announcing that Jerusalem would be a point of great tension for the nations of the world. In Zechariah 12 verses 2-3, God declares, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling to all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against the inhabitants of Jerusalem. On that day, I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the peoples. All who try to lift it will injure themselves severely, even though all the nations of the earth gather against it." Over the centuries, this prophecy seemed vague, as Jerusalem was under the dominion of various empires, and for more than 400 years remained in relative peace within the Ottoman Empire. However, in the 20th century, a transformative event changed this scenario. The return of the Jews to the Holy Land and the creation of the State of Israel in 1948 were decisive milestones for prophetic fulfillment. Today, Jerusalem remains a center of geopolitical and religious disputes, with nations constantly debating its status. But what comes next? The Bible warns that, in the last days, the city will be surrounded by enemy forces and will face its greatest crisis before the return of Christ. In Zechariah 14 verses 2-4, it is said that God will gather the nations against Jerusalem for a great confrontation. The city will be taken, houses will be destroyed, and the population will suffer persecution. However, this chaos will not be the end. At the most critical moment, the Lord himself will intervene, descending upon the Mount of Olives and splitting the mountain in two, creating a valley that will mark the beginning of a new era for the world. This prophetic event is directly connected with other biblical passages that speak about the Great Tribulation and the final battle, known as the events that precede the establishment of the kingdom of God on earth. In addition to Zechariah, the prophet Daniel also mentioned a crucial event: the re-establishment of Jewish sacrifices in Jerusalem before the end times. For this to happen, it would be necessary for the Jews to regain full control over the Temple Mount, a currently disputed site. The prophecy becomes even more impressive when we consider that just over a century ago, the idea of a Jewish state in the Middle East seemed impossible. However, in a relatively short period, events began to align with the scriptures, indicating that the prophetic clock may be closer to the end than we imagine. Since ancient times, the prophets have described events that are only now beginning to unfold before us. One of these significant events is the return of the Jewish people to their ancestral land, something that seemed impossible just over a century ago. After failed revolts against Roman rule in the year 66 and 132 AD, the Jews were dispersed throughout the empire, and the land of Israel ceased to be an independent state. For centuries, the hope of a return seemed distant, until in 1948, the prophecy was fulfilled with the establishment of the modern state of Israel. The restoration of Israel was driven by historical events that shaped the 20th century. During World War I, British forces took Jerusalem from the Ottoman Turks, and in 1917, the British government declared support for the establishment of a Jewish national home. However, it was only after the horrors of World War II that the world saw the need for a safe haven for the Jews, leading to the founding of the State of Israel. Since then, Israel has faced intense conflicts, wars, and constant threats to its existence. The War of Independence in 1948, the Six-Day War in 1967, and the Yom Kippur War in 1973 were just some of the challenges the nation faced to survive. However, despite the adversities, the prophecy was fulfilled, and Israel continues to play a central role in world events. Another sign of the end times described in the Bible is the spread of the gospel throughout the earth. In Matthew 24 verse 14, Jesus stated, "And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come." The dissemination of the Christian message was a long and gradual process. In the early centuries, preaching was limited by geographical and political barriers. However, with the advent of the press, radio, and television, the reach of the gospel expanded drastically. Today, the internet and social media make it possible for the word of God to reach places where it was once impossible. Even in countries where religious freedom is restricted, such as some Islamic and communist nations, the message of the kingdom of God continues to spread. This is yet another prophecy coming true before our eyes. When the message has reached all peoples, the next great event of the divine plan will be revealed. What will come next? Would we be closer to the fulfillment of the last biblical prophecies? The fate of humanity seems to be sealed. The prophecies long recorded are coming true before our eyes. The increase in natural disasters, the escalation of global tensions, and the signs from the heavens point to an uncertain future. Could this be the beginning of the end? The words of Jesus, Nostradamus, and the ancient prophets converge to an inevitable point, a time of trial, where only the prepared and those who maintain their faith will be able to endure. Instant communications, the rise of empires, environmental degradation, and imminent conflict sketch the scenario that could mark the end of the era as we know it. But do not be mistaken. This is not a call to fear, but to reflection and preparation. The prophecy warns us, but it also gives us a choice. What will we do with this knowledge? Ignore the signs and carry on as if nothing is happening? Or awaken, strengthen ourselves, and seek a path of hope amidst the chaos? Humanity has reached a turning point. Time is running out, and each day events accelerate, like pieces of a puzzle fitting together towards the final outcome. Would we be facing divine judgment? The final warning is being given. What remains now is each person's choice. Get ready, stay strong, and be ready for what is to come. If you made it this far, leave your opinion on these prophecies in the comments. Do you believe we are close to the final fulfillment? If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, join us, activate the notification bell, and share this video so that more people can learn about these revelations. The truth is right before our eyes. The question is, are we ready to see it?